Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are in Dunwich Forest. So we are going to have a walk round the forest, walk into Dunwich Village, and we are going to cook another random breakfast choice on the stove. So stick around, should be a good one. Right, so there's a car park here, Fredericks Mount. I haven't actually parked there. I have parked further up the road there in a sort of lay-by off the road, which is where I normally park. But yeah, there's a car park here. I think it used to be a lot of vans camp here overnight, but I think they have now, yeah, they have now stopped that. But how much they patrol that, I have no idea, but like I've said in previous videos, I probably wouldn't risk it because I wouldn't want the knock. I would personally, if I was going to stay, I would park where I have parked and stay overnight in one of the little laybys up there. It's just off the road. And to be fair, I see another van up there who looked like he'd stayed overnight. So yeah, I mean, once again, if you were going to stay, just obviously leave no rubbish, leave no trace, don't be noisy, etc., you know. So you can really smell the coconut as you're walking past the gorse bush. It's really nice, smells really nice. And I have seen people eat these. You can eat them apparently. I don't know if I'm going to risk it though, to be fair, but yeah, so another lovely morning to be taking a hike through the forest. So they are bike trails around here, but there was a sign saying the bike trails were closed, but I don't actually know if they are. I'm not an avid cyclist, mountain biker, but you know, I presume you can ride your bikes through here. It may be meant, I know there was some sort of made ones sort of off the path here through the forest. There was some made ones, so I don't know if they're talking about them. Maybe they're closed, but yeah, these ones look like you can still bike along there. So in the Anglo-Saxon period, Dunwich was the kingdom of the East Angles, and it had a port that was in similar size to 14th century London port. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty big port, pretty big place in general. Those fallen trees just waiting to come down here. I always remember coming to Dunwich as a kid, and I used to love pretending I was in Return of the Jedi and this was Endor with the Ewoks. Yeah, another lovely Sunday morning. Wind's quite keen, quite fresh, but I have got a wind slayer for the GoPro now, so hopefully you should be able to hear me a bit better with no wind noise. So whenever I come to Dunwich, I always think I'm gonna bump into a YouTuber that I enjoy watching. He's from around this area, East Anglian Bushcraft. He's a real cool channel. Did inspire me actually a little bit to start my own channel. But yeah, I always seem to think I'm going to bump into him. Never have yet so far though, but yeah, I can definitely recommend him as a channel. He's a good watch. So a little quaint little walkway, broad walk, I don't know what you'd really call this, with a couple of little bridges going over. Yeah, this is just a sort of circular walk I tend to do when I'm this way. Nice just to be down here, out of the way of it all, and just hear all the birds. And nice way to start a Sunday morning, really, you know. Right, so just come through the forest and onto the road here now. So down there is Westleton, and down here is Dunwich, and down there, so if you're coming from Westleton into Dunwich, down there is where I had my first overnight stay in my camper van, before it was actually a camper van. Basically had the van for about a week, wanted to get out in it, so had like a futon, fold up futon camper bed type thing. So took that out of the spare bedroom and put that in the back of the van, and went and had a night in the van down there. I think that little spot is on Park for Night. But yeah, it was quiet, nice, had a barbecue, just chilled out. Another van turned up a bit later on. So yeah, I can recommend that as a spot, unless they have a sign on there now saying no overnight stays, which seem to be popping up everywhere at the minute. So yeah, Westleton to Dunwich. So down here you have Dunwich Heath and a Cliff House holiday park. I think you can camp there, you can tents, camper vans, caravans, etc. And you have Dunwich Heath National Trust, which is quite nice. You get the heather on the heathland and car park tea room, but I'm not going down that way today because I'm carrying on down to Greyfriars Wood or Greyfriars. Yeah, we're going to head down that way and have a look. So here we go, let's go. So as we're getting closer to the beach, you might be able to hear the sea a little bit as we're taking this little track. It's a footpath, but mainly if you come down here it's obviously residents only. There's some small little properties here tucked away. There's some random ones in the forest as well, and I know that for a fact because I had to deliver to some now and again, and they're really hard to find. Literally have to phone up the owner and sort of get directions as to where they are. Yeah, I think this is like Greyfriars Wood, but there is a sign up here which will confirm if I'm right or wrong there. I generally not 100%. So let's have a look. Was I right? Ooh. Greyfriars Trust. So yeah, whenever we come here, always take a walk underneath a little bridge here. Yeah, so that bit over there is private. Cool little bridge. So we are along Dunwich Cliffs now. So I think I did mention it in a previous video, but I think it was about 1280 something, 1286, that there was a big storm that hit Dunwich, and that was when it washed a lot of the town into the sea. So somewhere out there is the legend or fact, don't know for 100%, but of the town under the sea. So while I think about it, I've had a few more subs, so I'd like to thank you for that. That's appreciated. There we go. Here's a bit of history. You can pause if you're interested. So back in the day, this would have been quite a busy little place by the looks of things. The wall going all the way, looks like it went all the way around. Good few years old that is. There we go. medieval church. Old bones still occasionally weather out of the cliff face. Who'd have thought, eh? So here's we'll see if the Windslayer on the GoPro is working, because it is quite windy down here. But yeah, beautiful day. Beautiful day. Been so blessed with the weather in these videos I'm making of late. Literally trying to make one sort of every Sunday, and sometimes during the week when I have a day off. And yeah, I think I've been blessed with the weather. So if you do drive through to Dunwich, you will basically, this is like the end of the road, and it's a beach car park, and there are a few campers down here by the looks of things. I'm guessing they stayed the night, seeing it is as it is 8 o'clock. It says no overnight parking, but I'm presuming you can, because people have. So yeah, this is the car park. There's a tea room just around the corner here, which used to be called Flora Tea Rooms, I think. I don't know if it still is, but we'll have a look. Free parking donations to local charities. There we go. Lost City. Can't actually see a name of the tea room, but I'm sure it used to be called Flora Tea Rooms. But they used to do pretty good fish and chips here. I presume they still do. Yes, it is the Flora Tea Rooms, Dunwich. Let's have a look at the menu. Fish and chips used to be amazing down here, really big bits of fish. There you go, there's the menu. Pause if interested. Let's have a look at the beach. Yeah, so it's windy. Perfect time to test out the old Windslayer, wind muffler. But yeah, so basically Sizewell, Thorpeness, Aldborough, Walberswick, Southwold, Cove Hive, Pakefield, etc., to Lowestoft. So you've got the Ship Inn there, which is the only pub in Dunwich, pub stroke hotel, and this would be, I'm presuming, the street. A few houses along here. So I think from about the 2000 census there was a population of around 80, something like that, and then 10 years on, so 2011 census, there is a population of 180 something, so there's not many people live in Dunwich. 183 population, maybe a little bit more now. But that's the museum. Open 11:30 till 4:30. I have been in there and that's quite informative. Nice little museum. Dunwich Delights. Yeah, so just a very quaint little village really. So these are pretty cool. Old telephone boxes that have been converted into a library. And a notice board. And a chalkboard. Shameless bit of plug on the channel there. Right, let's head back into the forest and get some breakfast. Right, so I found a nice little stump to sit on, and I think it's about time we get some breakfast on the go. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get all this in. It's a bit hard doing it one-handed. So today I've gone for something that I've never actually had before, believe it or not. But we have gone for a little Irish stew, and it says perfect with buttered chunky bread. Well, I've gone for buttered French stick, so let's get cracking. Yeah, so Irish stew, never actually had that before, so let's see what it's like. I'm always a bit paranoid with tins of meat because I am quite fussy with my meat. I don't like gristle and fat. I know some people don't care, but it's not really my cup of tea. But all smells nice and looks okay too. And we did bring the chunky, well not the chunky bread, but the French stick, so right, let's get down to business. Got a new spork. Going all out on this channel. Tasting pretty hot. Put some gel on my hands for the bread. Certainly a nice place to have a random breakfast. Getting covered in it. Right, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's done. So there we go. 9:06. nearly 15,000 steps. Irish tea for breakfast. I better give you the review. Not too bad. We'll give that a give that a 7. 7. Let's try it with some bread quickly. Still a 7. But yeah, I'm just gonna eat this and I'll check in with you before I go. So yeah, just finished up the stew. That wasn't too bad. It's especially nice with bread, so Lidl had that bang on really. Yeah, just make my way back. So yeah, if you've got this far, thanks for watching. Maybe, you know, give us a like, comment, maybe even subscribe, but that's cool if you don't. I'm gonna go home, edit this, probably post this at some point today. Enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Enjoy yours too, or enjoy your day whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.